Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile scrum, ISO and quality management, information. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development.
Hello everyone, we'll be starting a session now. Please allow me to share my screen. Here we go. I hope my screen is visible to you all, and thank you everyone for joining today's session. And I welcome you all to GSDC Certified Learning Advanced Prompt Engineering in Practice with a theme that is Unlock the Future of AI, Master Advanced Prompt Engineering in just 5 days. So we have this incredible panel of speakers aligned for this entire webinar series. We have already done with yesterday's session, and today we'll be having the second session. This is started from 29 September till happening till 3rd of October 2025 with the time slot that is 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Singapore time. So please do join us for the remaining session as well. And today we'll be having Izine Eke with us. She is a pharma futurist, healthcare consultant, and business consultant, market access and health system innovation. And she'll be taking us through the prompt optimization for domain-specific use cases. So before she could start with the session, I would like to introduce our hosting organization, GSDC, we known as Global Skill Development Council. We're vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We are globally recognized certification body, and we are accredited by ANSI and ABICB. We do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us, and we have certified more than 90,000 professionals worldwide. We have 500 SMEs. Those are subject matter expert, industry experts. They are affiliates from top universities like Harvard, Stanford, MIT. They work with us closely to design our deliverables. We are associated with 1,000 multinational corporates and 500 Fortune companies and 30 plus universities across the globe. And I'm very proud to inform you all that we do have more than 100 plus partners across the globe. We do have 100 plus authorized training partners. In case if you're looking for any of the training program for yourself, you can reach out to our training partner. I'll be sharing the link in the chat box. You can reach out to them to inquire about the programs that you're looking for. A special thanks to our official media partner, World Press Hub, for covering all our events and press releases. As I mentioned earlier in my previous slide, that we do have 100 plus certification portfolio, which includes certification on Gen AI, agentic AI, learning and development professionals, generative AI, and cybersecurity, risk and compliance, ISO related certification, and so on. So, in case if you're looking for any of this certification in order to upskill yourself, you can definitely reach out to a learning advisor to get more information on this certification. Also, you can explore our website, that is www.gsdcouncil.org, to check all the offerings that GSDC has for all of you. What benefits you'll be getting with this certification? You'll be GSDC's member for a lifelong. With that, you'll be getting certificate upgrade. You'll be having access to all our events, workshop, boot camps, and you'll be getting access for all exclusive learning program that we have. Along with it, you'll be getting implementation resources, speaker invites, and newsletter. Isn't it great? Do grab this opportunity and do sign up yourself for this amazing certification program. I'll be sharing all the links in the chat box shortly, so you can have the access. So let me tell you all more about Izine. Izine is a dynamic healthcare design professional with specialty training from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Johns Hopkins University. Passionate about creating sustainable human-centric solutions, she has contributed to global and local pharmaceutical strategies, driving market access initiatives and medicine access program across sub-Saharan Africa. As a social entrepreneur, Izine is committed to advancing equitable access to medicines, though innovative products and public policies. Known for her authenticity, creativity, and result-driven approach, she thrives in environments that blends art, design, and innovation. Beyond work, she finds inspiration in dance, painting, and books, guided by values of hard work, discipline, integrity, and consistency. Her philosophy is a simple: the world belongs to the brave. So we are very proud to have you today, Zine. You can have the handover of the virtual mic. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pritam, and welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I'm sure that many of us, took our time to join this training to upskill ourselves. So I hope that we can interact together as we learn together. Please feel free to use the chat box. Pritam will help me to monitor the chat box from time to time. Um, I'm sure a couple of you might be wondering, oh, she's a healthcare, she has this healthcare background. Why is she interested in AI and how has she been able to upskill herself in AI? I have an MBA from Johns Hopkins University that's focused on healthcare technology and innovation. And in the course of my program, I came to realize that, technology is actually very important. And in my previous career and my previous roles, I've had to design different technology products. And with the advances we are seeing now in technology and AI, everybody has to really sit down and position themselves. So first of all, I'll begin this training by congratulating you for being a part of this training today, for signing up for this, because this session is actually very, very important. I recently listened to a podcast, and one of the thought leaders in the podcast said something. He said, "Knowledge is everywhere, right? We have knowledge everywhere. We don't lack knowledge. It's very easy for somebody who just came out of college, right, to now have information about a specific niche industry. So, for example, I'm a pharmacist. I I have worked in the healthcare industry. I've worked with consulting, but I want to venture into something like fashion, right? I no longer have to spend, a lot of time, a lot of, energy to go back to school to learn about that industry if I want to do something. Now with generative AI, with prompt engineering, I can, give my AI a very specific prompt, and develop thought leadership in that space by just constantly engaging with technology, constantly engaging with AI to teach me about that domain. So I want to welcome you to today's session. My name is Ezine Aso. Please let me know where you're calling in from. Drop on the chat box your name and the country. I would like to do the demographics of the people on the call today. My name is Ezine Aso again, and today I'm going to be taking you all through the topic prompt optimization for domain-specific use cases, right? I don't know the demographics of the people and, your expertise in prompt engineering, but I'm going to start from the basics so that we can all understand. And at some point in this training, we're going to have some hands-on, sound hands-on engagement. So I hope everybody is in for it, for us to actually practicalize what we are learning, because knowledge without practicing might not stick. So welcome again. Isn't is my name. I'm pharmacist. I have an MBA. I'm a market access specialist. So if anything like this aligns, please reach out. And I like to call myself a healthcare futurist, and that's why technology excites me, because across all fields of healthcare, across all fields and industry, we all have to use technology. I am currently enrolled in a program at Stanford focused on AI for healthcare, and also a program at Johns Hopkins focused on AI for healthcare. So as you can see, I'm in the best place to talk about this today. Yeah. So today I'm going to first walk us through some of the objectives of today's webinar. We have to talk about introducing the concept of prompt engineering, the fundamentals, and just introducing it again to you all. I don't know, like I said, the level of expertise everybody has here, but just starting from the basis. And also we're going to be talking about, we're going to demonstrate domain-specific application. And please, if you could just let me know on the chat box the industries you're playing in, so that I can also, see, specific industries, and we can actually just practicalize some industries you would like for us to practice the prompt engineering in. Also, at some point I'll reach out for us to, if you would like to come off mute to just ask questions, that would be great too. We're going to apply some practical frameworks on how you prompt, right? And my objective again is to enhance your skill sets through practice. So I feel like the concept of AI should not be new to anybody on this call. For you to have signed up for this training means you probably have heard about AI, and in some areas you've had the opportunity to interact. In fact, everybody should have interacted with some form of AI, either through your phone. If you have an iPhone like I do, you speak to Siri, you speak to Alexa, you speak to, you prompt Alexa. Like every day I prompt my Siri. I say, Siri, set me an alarm for 8:30 a.m. That is prompt engineering. I tell Alexa, play me a music by Justin Bieber, that is prompt engineering. So we are not new to the concept of prompt engineering. However, in terms of taking it into your career, your business, and whatever field you are, you have to learn the skill set prompt engineering, because that is the only way you get value from the information that is available across the globe. Like I said, knowledge is everywhere. Knowledge used to be power, but now knowledge is no longer power. It's now enhanced knowledge, right? Enhanced knowledge, that is what is power. How can I use the myriads of information that is on the web to get value, to get concise information that can be practicalized, and I can engage in my business? So yeah, really, really excited about, today's conversation. And AI, like the definition is on the screen, is the field of computer science that focuses on creating systems capable of performing tasks that normally require human intelligence. There's a debate between, is AI important? Is AI going to take our jobs? No, AI is not. Don't be scared. AI is not going to take the jobs of people who are actually upskilling themselves on how to use AI, because it normally would depend on a human, which is prompt engineering, to impute information, to impute data that it will synthesize and be able to use to transform different domain-specific areas that we have. Yesterday, I had a debate with a friend, and she was like, she's of the thought that people are hyping AI. I'm like, no, you don't. Yes, I agree that there's a hype to it. There's a hype to how AI is being overflogged in different fields, but there is no gainsaying that we have come to a shift. We've come to a place where there is actually going to be a shift in, like the Industrial Revolution. We came to a time where we moved to machines. We've moved to the knowledge economy, which is what we are currently at. And now knowledge is being democratized with the availability and advances that we are seeing now in AI. So yeah, these tasks include understanding language, recognizing patterns, problem solving, making decisions, and learning from data. A lot of us now interact in the use of ChatGPT, Gemini, and some cloud, some of these platforms to make decisions for ourselves, draw plans for our businesses, and so on and so forth, So really, really important that we all bear in mind that we have to upskill in this way. So I don't mean to, rush through this, but I'm sure some of us are aware about the types of AI we have. We have the narrow AI and general AI. Narrow AI is like basic to perform specific tasks, speech recognition, language translation, and general AI is like to, perform any intellectual tasks that humans can do, like mimicking human flexible. So these are very important concepts to have in the mind, The narrow AI are actually like tasks of domain specific, and general AI have the capacity to perform tasks like humans. So what makes a good prompt? Now we've gotten into the session. What makes a good prompt? I'm curious to know, like, if you could just drop on the chat if you're aware about what makes a good chat. Please, let's use the chat box. I know I already have some of them on the screen. So, what in your own understanding, what makes a good chat, a good prompt? Okay. Um, Concise, great. Thank you, Benga. Providing context, objective, tones, format. Thank you so much, Tusha. Thank you, Aminat. Good context, yes. Providing specific information. I love it. I love it. Quote is a print. I love it. Aurora, thank you for that. The code principle is very, very important. There are many principles people use. There are many codes and frameworks people use. Chinwe, thank you so much. A good prompt should be clear, direct, Abdulatif, thank you. Okay, I see you trying to, okay. Yeah, so clarity, structure, open-ended is great. So everybody here has a sense of what makes a good prompt. It's not generic. A bad prompt is actually very generic. It is, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your input. So yeah, a bad prompt is actually very generic. It is very, very vague. So imagine me telling my Siri, which is like my first AI that I got introduced to, that I use on a daily basis. Hey Siri, I want you to set me an alarm, right? I feel like that's the most used. That's what I use my Siri for the most. Set me an alarm, schedule me a meeting, fix time for me on this. And I don't tell Siri what time, right? I just say schedule alarm. That is vague, that is generic, right? And that is a waste of time and the AI resources, because at the end of the day, it won't be able to perform the task I want it to do. It won't be able to achieve the deliverable I want it to achieve. A good prompt, on the other hand, unlocks full potential, right? They save time, increase accuracy, it leads to creativity and high quality results. We cannot underplay the power of specificity in terms of prompt engineering, right? The more detailed and clear you are, the better the AI can understand and fulfill your request, right? So if I use ChatGPT for instance, oh, ChatGPT, I have a meeting coming up next week. I want you to develop me a plan, right? I feel like the first question, even if it wasn't AI, the first question, whoever, whether it's a human, will ask is, what is the meeting about, right? So telling AI, I have a meeting next week, tell me what to do, right? It's going to ask me, what meeting is that? Where is the meeting going to be holding? Who are the people that are going to be in that meeting? What is your level of expertise in that meeting? How do we engage? Like basically basic questions, right? So that is the same expectation that AI expects of you, to give details. You must be clear, you must have a persona, you must have specificity, it must be niched, it must be detailed, and it must also be compliant. Sometimes, I don't know if you've noticed, where you put some prompt into ChatGPT and ChatGPT just tells you, ChatGPT just tells you, I am unable to, this does not fall within the policy of this network, right? This does not fall within the policy of our programming, right? You cannot search it. So say, for example, if somebody is searching something that might be harmful, right? Or maybe, dangerous to society, right? AI has to be ethical in the sense that it has to like process the harm, the beneficence of that data that it's providing you with. So yeah, So yeah, let's prompt engineering. The future belongs to those who know how to use AI very well, and that's why this very session is very important. Everybody knows how to use, not everybody knows how to use AI to the maximum capacity. We've all been exposed to AI, we've all heard the hype around AI, but not everybody knows how to use AI to the maximum capacity. And if we learn to unlock the use of AI in our business, in our careers, it's going to make life easier for a lot of us, right? So the future belongs to those who actually know how to use AI. And my challenge to everyone is that, take the training, take certifications, to upskill yourself and, be the best in this space, because the future actually would belong to those who use AI. And so prompt engineering is the process of crafting and, refining inputs, which with the input in this sense means the prompt, right? To get the best possible output from the AI model. And, think of it as speaking to AI to get accurate, relevant, and useful responses. Useful responses because, AI can generate jargon. It's just pulling from different databases, pulling from the web, pulling from data that's available. So if you want your data to be useful to you, you have to learn the art of prompt engineering as a foundational skill that anyone using AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Midjourney has to learn. So yeah, prompt engineering would unleash your creativity. The more specific you are, your creativity will be unleashed. It combines your context, your constraints, you provide instruction to the AI to understand what to do, how to do it, and in what format. So yeah, we have the domain specific prompt, which is what we are focusing here on today. And it increases the relevance, the accuracy, and actionable insight that you get from AI, the AI platform you're using. It provides consistency across platform. It producing repeatable standard results. So recently I was working on a document that I'm like a full project, and I had to give my prompts. I had to create a specific chatbot for that project. And from the beginning of the interaction with that chatbot, I had to prompt the chatbot, create, I don't know how to create it, something called, I don't know if you guys are aware about building foundational models, something like that. I don't know if in this session, but probably GSDC would teach you how to build foundational models, which is very important for business professionals. How can you build foundational models for your business? So part of building foundational models, which is very important, is prompt engineering, right? How do I create a foundational layer for my AI chatbot or my AI platform that primes the mind of the AI to say, okay, this is the use of this chatbot, this is the use of this AI product that I'm designing. And many of you are probably designed stuff on Google AI Studio, and other platforms, and you have to create a foundational, even when you use your ChatGPT, right? Sometimes when you click on the plus button, it asks you, what do you want? Do you want to create image? Do you want to create a document? Do you want to do this? That is a foundational model. Those are foundational models. But it has to be you have to you have to prime the mind of the AI, technology to create consistency across the project that you're delivering on. So that's what I mean by consistency, produce repeatable, standardized results across different users or tasks. So this is very important to say, because you don't want every time you have to prompt, you have to, prime the mind every time. You just have to do it once, and that's fine. Talking about customization, it's allowing tailoring output to specific industry. This is very important too, because if you want your AI to deliver to the optimum level, you have to actually tailor it to a specific niche, right? Tailor it to a specific industry or segment of the industry that you're looking to get output from. So at this point, please, if you have any question, feel free to drop it on the chat box. I'm seeing one question. Now, if we have a high quality prompt, then how does using different tools affect it? Given that the same, okay. Yes, so that is very important. So different tools have different, use cases. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the foundational models, right? Some AI have been designed to do something specific already. And so these days now you see a lot of job opportunities are looking for AI prompters, right? And this is very important. A lot of job opportunities on LinkedIn, on Indeed, they're actually looking for people who prompt their platform because they're training the model on how to, you know, deliver on that specific task, right? So prompt engineering is actually a career opportunity. It's a big space where you can actually play in because people are looking for prompt engineers. They're looking for doctors that can prompt. They're looking for consultants that can prompt. They're looking for, because they are training AI to deliver on a specific model. I don't know if you have the opportunity, but I recently came across an AI platform, which I think so far is one of the best platform I've seen for consultants, right? And that platform for me, I've worked as a consultant, and I can tell you that what one consultant typically does in 3 months, in developing case studies and documents, proposal, all of these things, this AI platform does it in less than 5 minutes. I'm using 5 minutes because yes, it was running for a while. I'm not sure it was up to 5 minutes, but I was actually very scared. Let me not use the word scared, but it put me on my edge to actually like, how do I even position myself? Like, and that's the same question I'm throwing to everyone on this call. How do we even position ourselves to be able to prompt and use AI in that scenario, right? And this platform, yeah, someone just asked about a question about the platform. Okay, yes. So the name of the AI platform is called Manus AI. It's a very great research tool, and it's very, very user friendly. You can, like, if you know how to prompt that platform, tasks that you typically will take you. ChatGPT does a great job, but this does a better job. Like, I feel like this was designed for people who are like research analysts, right? So before, I mean, I felt threatened, like, because as a research analyst, if anybody has this platform now, I think that nobody needs a research analyst anymore. All you just need to do is to train your research analyst on how to, use this platform. And I'm not exaggerating, because try it out. I mean, we'll probably do a test on this platform, and I'll show you guys that platform too. But this platform not only developed me a McKinsey style report in less than 5 minutes, but it developed it with graphs, it developed with pictures, quality pictures, and it also gave me a folder with all the files that it pulled from the internet. Tell me, is that not scary? Like, that's actually scary. It's actually very scary. Literally, the only thing I had to do was prompt the right way, right? Prompt the right way. And you see people prompting videos. They have videos. People no longer have to sit before a camera to develop to administer a webinar anymore. They can't use AI now with the right prompting skills, right? To develop their videos, to develop their webinar, to develop their pictures, to develop their social media campaign, to develop anything you want to develop. So it's very, very important that, we take into consideration, the importance of prompt engineering. So to move on, let's identify areas. I'm sure I would like to know the industry you're working in. If you could drop it on the chat box so we can just try some of your industries. But yeah, just give me a second. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, healthcare is my own industry. It's my niche. And I've seen that AI prompt engineering has revolutionized. A couple of years ago, I'm a pharmacist. I'm trained as a pharmacist, but one of the reasons why I chose to study pharmacy was because I wanted to find a cure to HIV/AIDS and different diseases across the globe. And I got discouraged in the process of my studies, and that was because I realized that it takes 20 years to discover a drug, right? It takes 20 years to discover a drug. And who wants to spend 20 years of your life trying to chase it? I mean, obviously, if you are very passionate about it, you can. But I lost interest. Let's just say that I lost interest midway because I got fed up inhaling chemical and stuff like that in the lab. So with AI now, the timeline for drug development has been compressed. Now, it's said that the average timeline for drug development is about 2 years. And that's because with the use of prompt engineering and chemical coding, all of these things now, companies have been able to design AI models that can actually filter through drug molecules and select the best candidate for clinical trials, right? And clinical trial that used to take longer now has been compressed because of prompt. So it means that it cuts across all field, right? The company that first designed this solution is called something, and their products, it's like, to use that product, right, it's a lot of money, right? They sell it like in millions of dollars for organizations to be able to have access to that technology. So begin to think about your industry, like what space can I use AI? Data analytics, you can now prompt AI to analyze your data. Before, we used to have data analysts, that will sit down and prompt and and actually like analyze data, large data sets using SQL, R, Python, all of the great. These are great skill sets to still have. They're still very relevant. But now, AI platforms are now analyzing data, right? All you just have to do is feed the platform with your data, and it analyzes the data for you. The only consideration might be privacy. The only consideration might be ethical consideration. Do I want the data to be out there? And that's why companies are beginning to design customized foundational models for their organizations to analyze data, large data sets. So yeah, so you can easily prompt your AI, your data, say, I just want top 3 data sales data for this year. And it gives you the data, it gives you the top, just prompt engineering. So this is very important. Finance with fraud detection, algorithmic scale scoring. Retail now with prompt engineering, you can now have AI interact with your customers in a very, I was having a chat with somebody, like I said, and the person was like, the human-like feeling is something that, yes, there's no gainsaying. We can't replace humans. Humans can never be replaced. But AI, a lot of organizations that are now building AI that have the human-like conversational style feeling, and now you do an interview. You don't have to do an interview with a human being anymore. AI chatbot to do the interview and give you the summary. Tailored shopping, supply chain efficiency, all of these things can now be done with good prompt engineering. So I'm seeing a lot on chatbot. Yeah, software engineering. Oh, thank you so much. I love that. Software engineering is one very controversial area. People are now questioning the importance of the computer science degree. Don't be afraid. Computer science is still very important. And, prompt engineering now is very useful for software developers, because you can now prompt your AI to detect errors in your code, errors in your coding, right? You can literally now upload your code to AI. I remember several years ago when I started learning how to code, I knew how hard that was. Just that was several years back. Just a mistake with a comma or a dot, and you have to start looking for where you made that mistake, because it's very, very hard to do those code. So now with AI, you can actually audit and edit your codes, better. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about the principles of effective prompting. First of all, we've talked about this already initially, but clarity and specificity, right? Avoid vague language, like we said. Define what, who, when, where, and how. So most times people just enter ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, I want you to do this for me. But you're not specific, right? So let's see this example. So instead of saying ChatGPT, explain diabetes, right? You can give a better prompt by saying, explain type 2 diabetes option for adults in sub-Saharan Africa, right? Highlighting affordability challenge. So maybe I wanted to understand what the challenges, right, are in terms of like people who have diabetics in terms of accessing care. And I want ChatGPT to tell me that. So instead of just giving it a very simple explain diabetes, I'm now hinged on a specific region, hinged on a specific challenge, and I'm hinged on the target population, adults, right? And I'm hinged on the type of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So you have to be very clear and specific in terms of how you prompt your AI solution for yourself. Another thing is the instructional precision, right? Clear, specific format, tone, and perspective. So you can say, if you're writing an email to your boss, right, you can just prompt, hey, please use a very professional tone, a very formal tone, sound very cautious, don't sound arrogant, be very mild in your tone, right? Use a friendly tone, right? These are institutional precision that you can give, you can prompt your AI solution to give. So the example I have, list 5 bullet point recommendation for improving patient adherence, written in plain language for policymakers, right? You can see I have my targets, the policymakers. Some people I say, sometimes when I want to do something, right, there's this book that I used to, I mean, we have these books, mathematics for dummies, right? Biochemistry for dummies. Sometimes I won't go ahead to prompt my AI to say, um, explain this concept like you will explain to a 5-year-old, right? And it will break it down like, it's talking to a 5-year-old. Sometimes the AI output will even tell you, are you understanding? Can you understand this? Okay. And even, I mean, I was in a webinar, I was in an AI summit 2 weeks ago, and somebody who had asked a question came onto the mic, and she mentioned that her 10-year-old daughter who is in, high school in the US, basically had she was looking through her ChatGPT history, and she saw that the 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 AI solution is interacting with her child like a child, because probably the AI has seen that this is a child that is chatting. So the way the AI solution was interacting with her daughter was really like a pair, like literally like just saying, oh, are you fine, Sophia? Are you good? Basically like very, very, so that's how that 5 years, that means that young child has known how to prompt, right? So prompt engineering is the skill of the century. Everybody who knows how to prompt will know how to get the best things out of AI. So contextual framing is also very important, provide background or constraints so that AI can tailor. So for example, I can say summarize the impact of GDPR or tariffs on healthcare startups operating in Germany, right? This is providing context. Tell me, okay, there's a policy, there's something that is happening right now, there is a trade war, there is a new policy that was just released. How is this going to affect this industry? Context. The last one can be the role assignment, right? You assign AI a role or perspective to improve quality. So act like a pharmaceutical regulator. I'm sorry, I'm very specific with my industry here. Act as a pharmaceutical regulatory consultant and explain the top 3 compliance risks in oncology drug trial, right? So I've given AI the role. You can say, hey, act as a McKinsey, most times I use that, act as a BCG consultant and tell me what industry to invest in the next 5 years. That is a role. You've given AI a role. Act as my legal expert. Act as my business consultant. Act as so you have to, in your prompt, you have to give AI a role in developing your response. So yeah, someone is asking, can you explain, give us a life example, like like how you overcome challenges in your domain? Okay, thank you. I would get to that in a very short moment when we get to the hands-on. So yeah, empowering ideas with prompts. Yes, you have to, example, you have an idea, something comes. I'm that kind of person. I have millions of ideas every day. So I can take my idea into AI and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. Who else is thinking about this? Or where else has this been done in the world? Give me the example, give me their names, give me their websites, give me their location, and tell me where they're playing in, right? And AI will develop this. I'll just say, put it in a table format, give it to me, and in a downloadable PDF file. That is prompt engineering, And I tell AI to do this for me, and it gives it to me, and I download the file. I just have to spend 30 minutes reading through. And when I read through, it gives me their website or the website of those organizations, and I go and look at what they're doing. People say you're not the only one thinking about a specific idea. So by just having my idea, I use AI to validate my idea. I use AI to review what other people are doing in that idea. and I, I kind of like have a sense to validate the idea that I have. Does it make sense? Do I need to trash it? And so basically see AI as a companion to like sprint through ideas quickly. You have an idea in your business, you have an idea in your career, quickly just run it through AI and say, okay, just tell me what people are doing in this space. Let me see who else is doing this. And that would be very, very helpful for, your career and anywhere you find yourself. So yeah, domain specific, they're not AI, prompt engineering is not replacing job, but those who know how to prompt, those who know how to use AI are the ones who will win, are the ones who will, be ahead, run with speed, right? So companies are looking to hire, like I said, if you go on LinkedIn now, go and search AI prompt engineer. About 5 years ago, that did not exist. About 3 years, not even 5 years ago, let's say three, not 2 years, when did ChatGPT come out? That did not exist. But now, prompt engineers are now like a very, 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 very important, like people are actually paying prompt engineers, people to prompt, because a lot of people are now training AI models. A lot of organizations are now, there's a gold rush for AI. So where any industry you can think of, people are looking for prompt engineers. So because they have experts. I see some job openings that are like, are you a McKinsey or Bain consultant? We are looking for you to join to we are looking to hire anybody who has worked in McKinsey, Bain, BCG. We are going to hire them. And they pay them like $200 per hour to prompt because they know they have the knowledge. They have basically what they're trying to do is like they're trying to understand how a McKinsey staff thinks through problem. And they want them to train the AI model to think that way to deliver outputs. So yeah, so basically you're empowering your idea using prompts. So again, I'm going to go through the framework before we go into the hands-on. My time is, I thought, time is quickly running. So I have about 20 minutes more. I hope I can do this. So framework for domain-specific prompts. Prompts vary by industry and use cases. Like everybody has different industry. We have the structured framework, adaptability, repeatability, like we've talked about. But you have to understand the domain context you are in, right? What industry am I in, right? What are the language? So, like I said, people are trying to recruit staff that are from BCG Bain because they know they have a specific language in that industry. They have a specific way of thinking in that industry. So you have to understand the industry you're coming from. You could be in construction. What are the language of that industry, right? Healthcare. What are the ICD codes? Like in the US, they have ICD codes for different treatments. They have codes for FDA for drugs and all of those stuff. Finance, you have your own compliance regulatory terms. Then you have to understand and incorporate your domain-specific terminologies, which is also what I've said, EMA, HTA assessment for healthcare, and try to feed that into the AI prompt. Set output structure, right? You could tell AI, please generate me a report. I want it in a PDF file. I want it in an Excel file. Give me a list, right? Give me a report. Give me a chart, like a picture. Infuse pictures into the graphs. Infuse graphs into the report, right? Give me references. If you're a researcher, right? If you're a researcher who's doing research, you can just, give me references in this space. Generate me a abstract. If you're like recently I had a webinar last week and was talking about research, right? Publishing your research. And a lot of things are happening in the world, right? Researchers can now use AI to say, okay, what is this gap in this space? So for example, cancer research, right? What is the gap in cancer research within this context, right? Within this region? And how can I develop the sorry, I lost my train of thought. What is the gap in this space in cancer research? And tell me the areas that are the top 10 needs in this industry, right? AI will develop that for you, and you can literally use that to fill a gap in the research space. So yeah, another thing is, test, refine, and reiterate. You have to evaluate your AI responses against domain-specific standard. AI will give you the output, but you as a human, you have to review it, And that's why we will always be the lords over AI, right? You have to review the response against what is necessary. It only makes your work faster. Like I said, yesterday I developed a report that when I was a consultant takes me 3 months to develop, because you have to do focus group discussions, you have to search the web, you have to read reports in days. But now in 5 minutes, I developed a industry. I wish I can show. I will show you guys when I open my platform. I developed a report in 5 minutes, just by having the right prompts. So this is very, very important. You test, you iterate. Sometimes AI will give you an output, say, no, please revise this, make it very brief, make it very concise. Tell me, develop it in a, basically you have to refine, test, and reiterate. Okay, so techniques for role playing, I think we've talked about this. Role playing for problem optimization is role playing. You can assign a professional identity to the AI solution. So like I said, you are a financial analyst, you are a market access consultant, you are a business consultant, you are a legal expert. Tell me what is happening in Nigeria's debt, right? Another thing is a chain of thought, right? Explain your reasoning. Sometimes you might not even have the prompts. You can even tell AI to, okay, give me a reasoning. Give me a reasoning on how I can do something. So recently I wanted to develop a professional picture of myself. Some of you, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I advise you to just follow me. I'd like to see you. I'd like to connect with you and hear from you. You'll see on my profile, I do have like a couple of pictures, and I developed them with AI. And basically what I did was, I just told AI, I'm trying to develop a picture for myself that would be like a vision board for myself in the next 20 years. Give me a prompt, right? Sometimes AI can do that for you on how to do this. So you can explain your reasoning to AI, and AI will give you another reasoning, another thing that it can feed in. So constraint-based prompting, sometimes you say, like I said, constraints summarizing 500 words. Say, for example, you're doing an application and they say, give me in 200 words. You're writing an article, writing a blog post that can only take 500 words, right? Or you're doing a LinkedIn post, or you're doing a Twitter. Let's use Twitter. Twitter has like a character text limit, right? And you can just use AI to make it concise, right? In 140 characters, develop me a summary of what I have written, right? So another thing is a zero shot, one shot, few shot learning. Zero shot or AI works with no example. Sometimes you just give AI something and no example, it just pulls it out. One shot, you give a simple example. Oh, look at what this person is doing. Maybe your competitor in your industry, and say, okay, look at what this person is doing. Give me examples of other things I can do that they are not doing. Few shots, provide multiple examples to guide the style and the accuracy of the AI and the prompt. So prompt engineering is almost everything. So yeah, at this point, I will pause to see if there are any questions. If there are any questions, please drop it on the chat. We want to do a hands-on. We want to do a hands-on at this moment. So give me a second. I'm trying to look through some of the questions. Okay, I think I've answered that. Okay. In your experience, how would
Do you want me to read the questions?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just trying to have a feel. But yeah, please go ahead, Pritam. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. So I can see the question that we have got from Shimul. In your experience, how would you incorporate a way for AI agent to understand structure of a document? For example, in oncology, there are structured staging standards. How do we get the AI agent to understand the structure of oncology staging standards?
Wow, that's thank you for that question. So most times one has to be very sorry, give me a second. Sorry, I just had to mistakenly pick something over here. Most times, in your career, you have to be very careful about the ethics around the use of AI, particularly in your job, right? Because the truth is, once you feed this AI, so one thing I also have to advise you that you have to set the privacy on your AI. So even if you've been using ChatGPT and you've not gone to the settings to do a privacy for your data, you are actually giving them your data. And not to even say that, even when you do the privacy, my data is not 100% mine, so long as I'm feeding it in an AI model, right? So please, everyone, I advise you to set your privacy on your ChatGPT, because I feel like everybody uses it every day. There are about 7 million users every day. So yeah, so in terms of that regards, I think that you can actually set a standard. Like I said, there are foundational models that you can build. I mean, happy to discuss this further, but there are foundational models you can build for yourself, for your AI chatbot, right? And just make sure that you're using that chatbot for a specific reason, right? So, for example, there's a way to write a document in oncology clinical trial, right? First prompt your AI. I am an AI oncologist expert. I'm an oncologist expert in the pharmaceutical or biopharmaceutical space who does clinical trial on a day-to-day basis across, because every market has their own specific domain, language, like I said it initially. So in Europe, their own language is different. In North America, it's different. In LATAM, it's different, right? So what region are you in, right? In, say, Nigeria, I want you to develop me the lingua and the framework for regulatory agencies who are doing something in this space, right? How is the document outline going to look like, etc. AI is going to, these things already exist on the internet. AI is going to comb through, whether it's the FDA or the regulatory agency, and bring out something. And so you as a human, you look at what AI has brought out, right? And review it and say, okay, this thing that AI has brought out, this one is not wrong. You can now impute the framework on the AI and say, hey, this is what okay, so let's do a hands-on. But before then, we'll do a hands-on on that specific. Thank you for that question, on that specific industry. Okay, so let me jump. I see James. James, you have a burning question. Your hand is raised. Hi, James. Amit Tepe. Do you have a burning question? You can come off mute. Okay. All right, so let's do a hands-on. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. So if you can you all like open up your screens and open up your AI, whether it's Gemini, whether it's ChatGPT, or whatever you're using. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna share my screen again. So yeah, I am using Gemini for my own. Yes, I'm using Gemini for this. So basically, we're gonna try and test what we had learned, right? So hello is the name, right? And I tell, sorry, give me a second. And I tell AI and I tell Gemini and I say, hey, give me a framework for oncology clinical trial, right? So let's see if this is a good prompt or a bad prompt, right? So as you can see, AI brought what it knows. It's still searching, but it says an oncology clinical trial is built on 3 core pillars, right? You got sequential, study protocol, ethical regulatory agency, right? And you can see it brought the framework out, phase 1, exploratory. I'm a pharmacist, but I'm not familiar with these terms. So Yeah, I'm familiar with the phase 1, but I'm not familiar with the clinical trials like industry. Do you understand? I know phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So it says export to sheet, right? I can export it if I want and have a PDF file. So you can see that it also brought key components of the protocols. If I'm writing a clinical trial protocols, scientific rationales, it also brought out like endpoint, all of the stuff, right? These are like for the person who asked this question might find is useful. It brought out ethical compliance, like the framework, right? So now this is very broad. But if I now go and say, can you please, so this is like interaction, right? Can you break this down for the market in Europe? Act as a clinical trial specialist in oncology and develop me a framework for a new product for breast cancer. As you can see, these are specific, right? I'm not just saying cancer. For breast cancer, make it very formal with an outline and key headers in a downloadable file, in a downloadable 5-pager file. Say I want it to be 5-pager, right? So let's see what AI will generate for us. So you can see it has said this framework developed in the context of European Union market adhering to clinical trial regulation. It stated the clinical trial number and the scientific guidelines of Europe. So you can see the initial one, I had said clinical trials, right? It just brought a generic information to me, right? Just brought a generic information to me. But now this other prompts was specific, set for the market in Europe. Act as a clinical trial specialist. You can see role playing in oncology. Develop me a framework. And I also said, make it very formal. Make it in with key headers, right? And in a downloadable 5-pager. So AI is still working on it. I mean, it's done. So this is the framework. Maybe the person who asked the question may be familiar with this. But yeah, you can see it gave the framework. What is the product, right? Indication, the regulatory pathway. It gave, and perhaps your own organization has their own framework, right? For writing clinical trials, right? Or writing output from clinical trials. You can literally prime and teach AI how your organization does it. So the only thing I know is that some organizations have some AI protocols that you cannot upload their data, which is very confidential. And I know clinical trial data are very confidential. So you have to make sure that you're actually like sticking to your organization's, how will I put it, like organizations, sorry, give me a second. You're sticking to your organization's protocols on the use of AI. This is very, very important because any information you put out there on ChatGPT, except you have set your privacy, even when you set your privacy, I don't trust these people. I don't trust them because they are giving you for free, right? So yeah, so basically you have to be very careful how you upload data on ChatGPT or any other platform. So okay, somebody's asking the question, should you always ask to add their citation? Yeah, you can. So I didn't put that because I didn't have the information. So you can actually ask AI to put your citation and all of those sort. The platform I talked about, Manos, try it out. It's very, very good. Very, very good. Like, that's what I'm using now for my market research and anything I'm doing, because I'm a market access consultant and I support businesses. So so this is like a very short demo. I'm sure you all have your own industries that you can try, and do something with AI and prompt your platform. So there is something that is very important to talk about, which is the enterprise prompt solutions. A lot of organizations are now developing specific AI for their organizations. They call it AI. A lot of organizations are now building their own AI platforms just because of this privacy concerns and ethical concerns. So you have your companies are now building their own generative AI platforms for their staff to use for specific. Yesterday, somebody sent me the McKinsey AI platform, right? Which is very great because McKinsey is seeing that is very important. The industry, the knowledge economy is being democratized, so they have to like still stay. Everybody has to stay ahead of the curve. So yeah, enterprise prompt solutions are solutions that organizations build specific for themselves. The practice of moving from ad hoc individual prompting to create standardized, reusable, secure AI prompt for entire organizations. So perhaps you have a business here and you're thinking through that. How do I build that? I mean, that's my niche. That's what I do. So literally, happy to walk us through that. Also, the team productivity boosters, right? How do you boost your team, like team meetings, team reports? These are like enterprise solutions that you can have. Google has their own. Google has a workspace that is now, you see sometimes Google now links. So for example, I'm using ChatGPT or using Google Gemini, right? Google Gemini is connected to all the Google apps. So I can be prompting on Gemini like we just did, and I can tell Gemini to send it to my email just using Gemini. I say, Gemini, send this document to my email. So that is what they call enterprise solutions. So basically engaging as a, how I call it, as a whole, right? Within an organization, even when I upload my data, because you can actually upload Excel files on your AI, ChatGPT, all of the stuff to analyze, and it's going to analyze and give you the graphs, give you the pictures, give you everything, download it for you. Can even tell it now. Even Microsoft has its own AI platform, Copilot, and Microsoft AI is also like an enterprise-wide solution that actually like can prompt, and it can develop graphs, it can develop PowerPoint presentation for you, it can develop Excel spreadsheet analytics for you, because they're enterprise, they are woven together. So sometimes you can also develop an enterprise solution for your organization to interwove them. So somebody asked a question about what is the okay, I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in. Well, somebody asked a question around the concerns of AI. Yes, there are definitely concerns, like the concerns around privacy, trust, is my data secure, security and governance, right? So within your enterprise solution, you have to like think about your data security and governance. And that's why I advise everybody to go and set your ChatGPT if you've not, because all the data you're feeding it is going to them. They're using it to learn about you. Somebody can actually prompt AI and say, hey, tell me something about this person. And it comes out. So you have to be very careful. Prompt security governance, knowledge management. How do you want to store the data? Do you want to keep them in silos? Do you want to keep them in foundational models? Or do you want to put, and this is very good because companies can now manage knowledge better, right? Knowledge from 2019 that you've developed, reports in the past, you can repurpose them using AI and stuff like that. So integration with other softwares is also something to be concerned about. There are already existing software in my industry. How do I integrate AI into Salesforce, Slack, ERP systems? This moves AI from a separate tool to an embedded daily operation. These are challenges of using AI. And then human oversight integration. So while prompts deliver a functionality, human in the loop, there needs to be somebody to actually oversight. There needs to be an oversight. It needs to be an oversight on what AI is coming out with. So at this point, I think this is the last slide. These are the common pitfalls. You need to harness it responsibly. You need to, make sure that you're sticking with your domain standards. And, somebody asked a question about hallucinations. Yes, AI has a possibility about there's a lot of hallucination that occurs. So you have to keep prompting, reiterate, testing. Okay, this is not right. Clinical. Sometimes it gives you very wrong data, right? You have to keep prompting the AI solution to get the best out of the data. So yeah, that is it in terms of in that regards. So yeah, in conclusion, my comment would be practice, practice, practice. Start experimenting, how AI is going to be used in your daily work and activities, build a library, save your best prompts and reuse them. Sometimes you see people post their prompts on how they went about doing something online, and people just copy it and use it, and it gives them the same output. So build a library of prompts, stay curious. Remember, the goal is not just to get an answer, but to get the right answer. So thank you so much, everyone. Feel free to scan the code on the screen to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to take a question. I also like to know how the session was for you in that regard. So thank you so much. At this point, I will call on Pritam for the Q&A. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Izine, for amazing session. I would like to request all the participants, please drop your question in the chat box so we can take it. We still have a 10 minutes, so we can cover maximum questions. So please do drop your questions. Um, I can see a question came from Kadir. Can you demonstrate the enterprise prompt? Izine, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was just catching my breath. Yeah, so in terms of like enterprise prompts, that's very hard to demonstrate because that's like building you, like I said, that is like building you a foundational model, right? And that is something that maybe if you're interested in, we can explore. But the enterprise models, sorry, I'm hearing myself. Pritam, do you mind muting? Okay. Yeah. So
We can hear you
enterprise.
properly.
Okay, perfect. So enterprise solutions are like I said, they're like you can have a Google Workspace, right, for your organization that you use to get your staff. You have like basic Google emails, all of the stuff like you can have. So if you already have like Google as part of your enterprise, like what you use in you're subscribed to Google Workspace, right? You have their enterprise solution. So basically, like you can send an email, you can, you can send an email using Gemini from just your staff using Gemini. You can ask, as the owner of the organization, you can ask Gemini to give you a summary of everything your staff have been using AI for at the end of the month to download it and send it to you, right? And those sort of stuff. So it is very, very important enterprise like organization begin to think around building their own enterprise solution. And it doesn't have to be something very big. It can just be like, okay, I'm going to subscribe to Google Workspace or Microsoft Gemini, Microsoft Copilot for my organization. I feel like a lot of organizations already use Microsoft, right? Teams and all of those. I'm not trying to promote them, but you can actually like build a specialized AI solution, use Google Studio. I mean, there are lots. It's not something I can talk about for a long time here, but if you're interested in exploring, please feel free to send a text my way. I'll be happy to walk you through it. Is there any other question, Pritam?
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. Can see the another question we have got from Ademola, requesting you to please explain further on how an organization can create its own AI.
Yeah, that was what I was just explaining now. The enterprise AI solutions, right? Is like building your organization a very foundational model, right? A basic foundational model. And then you have to buy the space. Obviously, you pay a subscription every month with that a specific platform. But if you want to build your own chat GPT, right? If you want to build your own GPT for your organization, it's very possible. You just have to buy the domain space from OpenAI and then build your own GPT. This is also something I'm happy to talk you through. Feel free to connect and we can talk about this, but this is a skill set that you have to build and not just talk about it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Izine. Can see question we have got from Ameha. Prompt engineering still generates unexpected or biased responses due to inherent training limitations. So, how to minimize this issue?
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm so surprised that I never talked about data bias, right? Bias is a real thing in terms of like, bias is a very big thing in terms of AI and technology, right? There's a lot of bias. So I'm going to use the healthcare space as an example because I mean, let me not be biased, but let me not be biased, but that's my industry. So you can imagine I'm already biased with that. So AI can also be biased when a specific model has been trained with data. So for example, as a healthcare professional, I cannot use an AI platform that was trained with data from, say, America, right? Data on Caucasian patients or India to treat patients in my population because the data is going to be biased, right? The AI model is going to be biased and it's going to be a limitation for people who are going to be using that, trusting my AI solution. So specific domain have to be like your data has to be like very clean. Your data has to be like very validated. Your data has to meet certain criteria for you to replicate and duplicate the use of that AI solution. So sometimes you hear people say AI is not dominant in specific industry like healthcare. That's one of the very very, very niched. Healthcare is actually one of the very niche space that AI use is actually very, limited because you have to you have to actually make sure that data is not biased, and it's very hard to do that in healthcare. And that's why AI solutions in healthcare most times are very limited to specific settings. Especially because they are all trained with different data, and there are a lot of poor representation already in clinical trials and things like that. They are not representation from certain populations. And so that is the same thing that we are seeing in AI. So I love the fact that thank you for mentioning that data bias is very, very real in terms of like how you use your data. So in terms of limiting that, honestly, I don't know if that's up to us, but if you do a very good prompt, right, that is very specific, niched, and all of those stuff, it's actually going to be very not 100%, but give you a better output than if you are not prompting the right way. Yeah, thank you for that question.
Greatly answered, Izine. Thank you so much. We'll be taking this question as the last question as we have done with the schedule time. So unfortunately, I'm sorry if I'm missing any questions today. I've shared Izine's LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. Feel free to reach out to her if you have any question in your mind. I believe she's more than happy to help you all, right? So we'll be taking this last question, which came from Andy. I have been learning and experimenting AI tool for a while to improve my skill in prompting. I usually have to try and retry and need
Mhm.
iterations to try to get my ideal output, especially with creating the PPT that I want. However, all this AI tool have very limited free prompt per day. So before I reach out goal, I got stuck with insufficient prompts. Do you have any advice how we can have this better prompt practice?
Honestly, I mean, most of this platform, like I said, they're enterprise solutions. So I cannot subscribe to like say there's a platform called Beautiful Presentations, Beautiful AI Presentation. And you can see before, I mean, it makes you wonder, right? Before this skill sets as a consultant, you pride yourself that I make beautiful presentation. But now AI like literally does presentation for people, you know, without even, it's only if you want to take time. For example, this presentation I had today, I took my own time. I didn't use AI. I only, literally got like my templates, using my existing platforms that I have. But some people don't even do the hard work anymore. They just tell I have a presentation on prompt engineering. I have a presentation on, I'm going to do a pitch deck or we speak to investors, develop me a presentation. And AI does that now. There are a lot of power. You pay for it. You have to pay for it. Like they are not doing it for free. They didn't spend their brain power to sit down and do it for free. So I understand your situation in terms of like, most of them are limited per day. But yeah, the only best way to practice is to practice, right? The only best way to swim is to learn how to swim, is to jump into the water and swim. So the more you practice on a daily basis, the better you get at, using and prompting. So that's my advice for you. Keep prompting, keep doing like every day, like the statistics of people who are using ChatGPT is increasing. Before last month was about 5 million. This year month, 7 million users per day. Man, there's a lot of everybody is sitting. Sometimes when I'm using ChatGPT, say, oh, there are a lot of users using this same feature at this time. So please give it some minutes. So the demand is high. So the best way to practice is practice. So that's my advice for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Izine,
Yeah.
for answering this in a very fun way. And I hope, Andy, you have got little bit idea how you can actually do the practice, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, we are stopping here with the Q&As. Before I move forward, I would love to hear final thoughts from you, Izine, for all our participants today. Izine, you are on mute. I'm so sorry, we cannot hear you.
Oh my God, technology and its limitations. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, I was saying that I'm so excited to have had the opportunity to share my knowledge with you all. I'm happy to continue this conversation. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know how you felt about this session. I think that feedback is very important to me to know how, to continue to support and, feel free to reach out anytime. Also, I advise you to position yourself, right? I feel I am a pharmacist. I have never been a pharmacist. I've never practiced as a pharmacist though, but I've worked in consulting. I've worked in pharma. I have an MBA that's focused on health technology, and I'm currently like doing a program at Stanford on AI. So literally everybody needs to upskill themselves in AI. The future is now. It's not tomorrow. It's now. Like everybody needs to, if you don't want to, it's a very scary video I watched, and it was talking about how AI now makes a perfect cup of coffee. Before people have to have jobs in the coffee shop, but now people are even fascinated seeing AI making coffee. So my advice, everyone, is learn how to prompt. You can see now, like I said, we now have jobs that are titled prompt engineers. We now have jobs titled AI specialist, AI engineer. So please keep upskilling, follow GSDC, and keep learning. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad to have this opportunity. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Izine. Even we are very glad to have you for today's session. And thank you again for amazing and insightful session and sharing wonderful thoughts with all the participants today. We'll definitely looking forward to have another session with you in the future. So we'll be reaching out to you soon. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is regarding some announcement that I have for all of you. So this is today's feature certification that we had a session on certified prompt engineering, where you can opt out for this certification. Can you see the promo code, which is prompt 20? You can use this promo code to get amazing discount, which is 20% discount that we are providing right now on this certification. So do grab this opportunity and do sign up yourself, because this certification are lifetime validated certification, which comes along with the learning resources, where you'll be getting a lot of case studies to work on, e-learnings, book of knowledge. These certifications are lifelong learnings, which comes along with the learning flexibility. So you'll be having chance to connect with our training partner channel for any training program in case if you're looking for. Also, you'll be getting an opportunity to work on the capstone project, that is something real-time AI simulation practice. I've already shared the offer detail along with the promo code in the chat box. You can check it out and do sign up. Also, this is utility tool. Many of you are most aware of this, what it is. This is the tool that GSDC has come up with earlier, which will help you to improve your LinkedIn profile score, your AI skills score. Also, it will help you to build your resume, and also it will help you to build your personal brand. So there are a lot of benefits. You can check it out. I have already shared the utility link. I'll also be sharing again post this announcement. You can use this promo code, which is August 100, to get 100% off. And this is only for our webinar attendees. So grab this opportunity. And let me make this announcement. Tomorrow we'll be having the third session of this webinar series, and we'll be having Matthew Johnson with us, and he'll be taking us through designing multi-step reasoning prompts for complex problem solving. So don't miss this out. Do join us. Also, we are running this AI tool challenge. It was scheduled for 28 days earlier, but we are planning to extend it. We have already have done 2 sessions earlier, so we have extended it till 3 days as of now, and we'll be having this session till 3rd of October. So please do join us. Time slot, that is 10:30 a.m. Central and 11:30 p.m. Singapore time. We have this incredible panel of AI expert who are giving us live demo on different tools, AI tools, right, with practical walkthrough. So do not miss this. Do join us. We'll be having this next session in next 45 minutes. So please do join. And thank you very much. We do have these three winners who have referred maximum people to our this webinar series. So let's congratulate to them. However, we'll be announcing all the winners at the end of this webinar series. So you still have a time to refer people and to be a winner. You can check our event webpage link where you will be able to see how many points that you have referred so far by referring people. So referring people to our sessions, to powerful sessions, is like you're already taking a step ahead and becoming a thoughtful leader. So do refer maximum people. Also, if you want to be a speaker for our upcoming event as a featured global speaker, you can definitely reach out to us, because we are having platforms like Learning Capsule, webinars, and the podcast for all of you. So if you want to be speaker, feel free to reach out to us. Also, if you can scan this QR to connect with us over the LinkedIn. You can explore our website, that is www.gsdcouncil.org, to check all the offerings and all the information that I've mentioned regarding the certification. You'll able to access all this information through our website. And also, you can connect with us over the WhatsApp group to get daily update on events and the webinars. And please do share your reviews on the Trustpilot. You'll find links in the chat box. I've already shared it. I'll share it again if you want, but please do share your reviews. And thank you everyone for joining today's session. I hope to see you all for the upcoming sessions and the remaining session of this series. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you, Zine. Bye.